Stevie Lee, former defensive tackle for the University of Texas.
And I'm Clyde Hargrove. I'm a roofer.
I also saw action in 52 games.
And I fix a lot of roofs.
Also won a Rose Bowl and never lost to A&M.
And I fix a lot of roofs, right, Stevie?
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I zoned out a little bit.
So are you going to say that thing about Hargrove Roofing?
Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
Is this even going to work as a commercial?
This is a complete football team, every sense of the word. So they're good enough to win the whole thing.
All right, you heard it straight from the two-time national champion head coach Dabo Sweeney. He gave Texas the ultimate compliment. He's quite fond of Steve Sarkisian. Stevie, this is the week, and this is the first time we've ever had an episode of the Pass Rush with Stevie Lee talking about a college football playoff game on a home field of a university. Your thoughts?
That is crazy that we're here now, man. I'm so happy it's game week. I'm ready to talk about it.
And we have lots to talk about. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about all the local tie-ins, namely the Westlake Chaparral tie-in. And there's a lot of connections between Clemson and Texas. It goes beyond the two head coaches. Stevie Lee, let's ride.
Let's ride.
You know, Dabo, for a long, long time, has been winning a lot of games at Clemson. I think this is their seventh, college football playoff appearance. He's won 2 national titles. And this team really embodies what his teams have embodied over the years. They're really disciplined, very few penalties.
So we heard from Dabo to start out the top of the show. We heard from Steve Sarkisian, both complimentary. Both, honestly, I know Dabo's the more achieved head coach coaching career. But when you think about these two, I mean, Dabo played at Alabama, was a walk-on. We know the story. And what he's built at Clemson. I mean, if you go back and look back at Dabo Sweeney's story, he was a position coach. And when Clemson made a coaching change mid-season, I believe it was 09, they took a gamble that the Clemson faithful weren't too sure about. This guy who was a walk-on at Alabama earned a scholarship and just went all in on Dabo, and he's been there a while now, 7 times now that he has led a team to the college football playoffs. This is number 2 for Steve Sarkisian. I mean, Stevie, on the outside looking in, from that perspective, what are your thoughts?
Even though, he's gone to the college football playoffs 7 times, no one has ever played a home away game in the college football playoffs. So this is different. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Clemson going to come in and not even care that it's a home game because they're fighting for their lives, right? They're fighting for one more week of play. So, and then Texas, we don't know how Texas is going to be because Texas is trying to fight for one more week of play as well. So it's kind of up in the air what's going to happen this weekend. I'm really excited about it, man. I can't wait. It's going to be a beautiful day in Austin, Texas. We're not in the cold weathers like the other games are going to be, So it's a great time for college football right now.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
And before we move forward, I am Sean Clinch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave. Stevie Lee, the co-host of this particular series, the Pass Rush of Stevie Lee. You'll see him on other episodes as well. And we would not be able to do this without the support from our family and friends with the Hargrove family that is out of Shreveport, Louisiana. And they are in the Austin, Texas area and other parts of Texas. And they do a great job. And they make it very personal from a positive perspective. And Stevie Lee is that smiling face for Hargrove Roofing, and he represents them well, needless to say.
Hargrove Roofing, know who's on your roof.
That's right. That's right. Hey, be sure to follow us on each of our social media platforms. And, yeah, we're about to dive deep. And I think there doesn't need to be a drum roll. We just need a hype video so we can go ahead and get this discussion underway, and we'll dive deep into it because it is the college football playoff week. Let's go, Stevie. That's good pregame music, by the way.
Good.
That's got to be. Would that music work for you back in the day before you hit the tunnel?
No question. It works for me right now. I'm ready to go.
So Clemson's old hat in this game, and to Stevie's point, I mean, we really have no idea. Home field advantage will be a factor, but Clemson's experienced one. But they're not the same type of Clemson teams from, let's just say, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But this one element of this, Stevie, this is the first time that Dabo Sweeney will be at DKR for an actual Texas game. And it's funny, he told the story about his first time when he was hired. He came to visit your former head coach.
And I spent 2 or 3 days with Coach Mack Brown, and that was very impactful for me. But I've only been at one game at that stadium, and that was to see Kade Klubnik play in a playoff game. And ironically, visited with Coach Sark. We stood down in the end zone there. But so what an opportunity! I mean, what a magical, historic place to go play a football game. I've never played Texas. I've never been to, obviously played in that stadium or anything. So I'm super excited about it.
See, and then he was recruiting, and we're going to obviously talk about Kade, just a good human being. Each of the guys tied, we're going to talk about just good human beings, good players. When you think of Dabo, what's the first thing that comes to mind from you, looking from as a fan and a guy who, went through the recruiting game? I mean, he has a lot of skins on the wall, so to speak.
Golly, man. Why would you ask me that question? I particularly, man, there's a lot of Sean.
Yeah.
I'm not fond of the guy at all.
That's fine.
I really am not. It was an interview before we started talking NIL and things like that. There was an interview that he did, and he said that we're going to run into a problem when kids start to feel entitled. And no, that word did not sit well with me, because here he is sitting up here making $4 million a year off the backs of these kids. And you want to call the kids entitled to ask for name, image, and likeness. And so I did not like that. And then he doubled down on it in another interview on ESPN. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, and then he tripled down on it again. Like, that was his running talking points, that the kids are getting entitled and we should not be paying the kids. Well, I played the sport, and I am so happy that some of these kids, I mean, just the numbers is not going to work. Every kid in college football is not going to play on the next level to make money.
Right.
I did not play on the next level to make money. But if I would have left school with $100,000 in my pocket, or $50,000 in my pocket, or even $30,000 in my pocket, it would have catapulted and helped me start my career, start my family, and things like that. And so after he has made millions off college football, let these kids make, in the tens of thousands of dollars, So the way he had talked about it, it was really, man, I'm going to be honest with you, just disgusting to me. And so I'm not a fan of Dabo, and I hope we whoop ass this weekend. But he's still a coach. You have to respect what he's done over there, and right. I do respect what he's done over there. And so at Clemson and turning a program around like that, and I'm glad that they pay him. But also we got to pay the kids that's actually on the field. So I'm sorry if I went negative, but that's just how I feel.
I mean, that's good, because we want real. We want to hear real. Yeah. Everything's not always sunshine and roses, and everyone has an opinion, and you should. And I respect that, Stevie. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people see everything from a surface level. And I've gone off, and sometimes my opinions are way off. It doesn't mean I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm human. We're all entitled to an opinion. Doesn't mean we always have to speak it, but that's an opinion, that side that people need to hear, Stevie.
Yeah.
I like him, but I thought that he was behind in accepting the NIL game. There's a lot of coaches, I mean, that don't like it. You know? But, at the time, and that may be part of the reason that they kind of slipped a little bit, but, it's a locomotive, and we're going to get into that NIL and the transfer portal here shortly. But real quick, when you look at here's the brackets. This is round one. These are all of the we talked about it last week. 3 of the 4 hosts on the first round games are cold weather cities. I think it may be 70 degrees perfect here in Austin, Texas. The winner will go to Atlanta, the Peach Bowl, to face Arizona State. We went into it last week. It doesn't matter really what we think, but I think our opinions are the same. Just because you win a conference champion or you're one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions does not mean you should get a first round bye. I think the top 4 in the country in the rankings should receive a first round bye.
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like. Just to give you a refresher on what the bracket will look like. It's very confusing. But Stevie, what you know about Clemson, what's your elementary, and I already said it once, that term, surface level, what's your game plan for Texas versus Clemson, if you had to?
My game plan is to sometimes we at the University of Texas, we'll come out a little flat, especially if we start out on offense.
Right.
We need to have a really good, sustainable drive on offense if we get the ball first. If the defense get the ball first or get out on the field first, and Clemson's offense is out there, we need a 3 and out to get the ball to our offense. So we need to start out the game. Sometimes we start out the game with some of these lows, and we have to work our way, massage our way into the game. We need to come out on fire for the first half at the start of the game, and then we need to come out on fire out of the locker room after the second half or going out of halftime. So we need to clean up coming out of the locker room, period. So that's my key of the game, because the rest, all the other phases of the game, we're right there and we're on fire. You know what I'm saying? We need to start on fire and finish on fire throughout the whole game. A perfect, clean game. You know?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's Stevie's game plan. I don't have one for me, but who we're going to talk about right now, Kade Klubnik. I mean, the guy has to be accounted for. He has great receivers. The guy can he's a dual threat.
Yeah.
He keeps plays alive. And Kade Klubnik is obviously a hometown guy. Played at Westlake on those. Part of the reason they won back-to-back state championships. And as we speak, Westlake is still alive for another one currently. But Kade Klubnik, you mentioned Dabo, his first trip to here, other than meeting with the first game that he saw, was to watch Kade Klubnik. For Kade, this is going – Texas has to use that linebacker speed that they have, like with Anthony Hill, to neutralize Kade, because he will beat teams with his feet. I think Texas can score 24-plus points on this team. I do. Texas will score at least 24 points. But can Clemson score 25-plus to win the game? That's the key here, because they're going to have a downfield passing attack I don't think that Texas has seen this year, because that's to me what's going to be the difference. Can these DBs hold up? And the Texas defensive tackles are a little thin right now because of the portal. But and I think some minor injuries, but that's going to. I think Sark had mentioned today, in the press conference on earlier, said it's not going to affect the depth on the D line for game. It's going to affect the depth for practice. And as you know, the games should be easy. The practices are usually the toughest.
Yeah.
But isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So my take on what's the quarterback's name?
Kade Klubnik.
Kate. I almost said Case. Kate. So my game plan for him is putting people in his face.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've seen fast enough a defense as fast as we are.
Right.
So he can scramble, and he may scramble a little bit, and try to get out of the pocket to throw the ball. But once you start scrambling against us, you don't have time to throw. You're gonna have to continue to scramble, or you're gonna get hit in the mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're fast, and we're gonna. If you might can get away from us, but you won't get away from us enough time to step back, set your feet, and then try to throw it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think we're too fast for that.
I don't think
on the sideline. Our defense is the fastest in the country.
Yeah, arguably the best defense in the country and one of the best in UT football history. I don't think in the ACC there's any team that has any defense remotely like UT's.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I
agree with you.
I don't see it. So to Kade Klubnik, if you're on social media, saw it. They celebrated the fact that he's coming home when the CFP announcement happened, and then Kade being the competitor that he is, this is going to be a big time reunion for him for many reasons. But this is Klubnik basically. He's trying to downplay it now to focus on the task at hand instead of the homecoming.
I've kind of drifted away and really just kind of focus on the preparation that comes with it since then. But I think once I get there, it'll definitely be a little wild, flying into that airport and making that drive and stuff. And yeah, it'll be cool.
And he comes from a family of Aggies. So he's obviously the first to go to Clemson, and he is Dabo was a big part of his recruitment, so to speak.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on him and what he said, flying back home for the first time to play a game.
Yeah, he was trying to clean it up. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. He was just trying to clean it up. But that's good for him to be able to play a college football game in his hometown. I wish I could have done that. That means
a big time game.
That if I'd have played a home game in college, that means we had a terrible year and had to go to the Independence Bowl.
Yeah.
So good for him for having I'm sure half of Westlake will be rooting for Texas and half of Westlake will be rooting for him.
Yeah, 100%. And the Klubnik family, great people. I think it's funny when you see legacies in this case of like Aggies. They're going to have to, obviously they're going to be dressed up for Clemson, but Westlake folks are going to. I don't know. It'll be fun, and this is what's really good about it. So for Klubnik, he was obviously the quarterback for Westlake. I remember going to this game at Arlington. Todd Dodge played against his son, who succeeded him at South Lake Carroll. They met in what they called the Dodge Bowl. It was beautiful. What wasn't beautiful about it, it was the COVID season in which the state championships had to be played in January of 2021. And this was in Arlington at Cowboy Stadium. So I went. It was amazing. And Westlake tore up Mike Quinn. Mike Quinn was a former Stephen F. Austin quarterback who played for the Texans. Quinn Ewers. And this is a Michael Taft, who's one of the best DBs in the country, a former walk-on for Texas and a Westlake chaparral. This was one of the highlights from that game in which Taft picked off Quinn Ewers.
Downfield, and that's picked off by Taft. He's done it again.
Was that a one-hander?
It's his second interception tonight, and that is a one-hander.
Wow.
Look at this. Quinn Ewers, I apologize. I'm having flashbacks to 1997. I have no idea why.
That's funny, man. That was a great athletic catch of Taft. That was
Taft,
awesome.
unreal, under recruited, and he is a prime example of things are meant to be. Your path is in front of you, and he gambled on himself and took a risk, and it paid off for him.
Absolutely.
Preferred walk on, took it.
Yep.
Over scholarship offers.
Yeah, that's good. We're happy he did it because he's playing very well for us, man.
Yeah, and Ethan Burke was on that team, and there were other members of that Westlake team who are playing for Texas. And there's other Texas kids on this Clemson team who either were offered by Texas or weren't, and they get to come home. That's the beauty of this matchup, and you can find Texans on every roster. And then the other one, Andrew Makuba, playing his first few years at Clemson, and then from LBJ High School here and coming back, he's been a huge addition for the Longhorns. Your thoughts on Makuba and just how all this – I know it's coincidence, but your thoughts on this. I mean, there's so many elements to this.
Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this because the portal is open and wide open.
Right.
And coaches cannot really control where the kids go after they leave your university, man. But these are really good storylines for this game. The first, home game, home playoff game, and then you got all these storylines on top of it. I think this is really cool. Like I said, it's really cool for college football right now, man. Makuba, hopefully he can give us some pointers on their what they do over there. So,
they've already had those meetings.
Yeah, they had those meetings already.
Watching film.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this. I'm not a big prediction guy, but I'll start it, Stevie. I'll say Texas 33-20.
33-20.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a big predictions guy either, but I do see us winning. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay. That's where we need to nip it in the bud and move on. And we all know this is new, honestly, new territory because it's a 12-team format, but it's also new because you start the games on the march to the national championship much earlier. I mean, this time of year, usually when the first bowl games start, there's already been one, and there's another one coming up soon. But you have all the postseason awards, the Heisman. We've had that. There was no doubt who the Heisman Trophy winner should be, in my opinion. I know Ashton Junty from Boise State was a guy I was pulling for. Travis Hunter got it, but you got to admit, Big Kelvin Banks winning the Lombardi and the Outland, the Interior Lineman Award, two prestigious honors, and then Jahdae Barron. I think, to me, because I spent time in Oklahoma City where the Thorpe Award originates and it's home, that's kind of Heisman point 2.0. And obviously the best defensive back in the country. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that he was the best defensive back in the country from what you know?
No, I seen him and I love watching him play. But I didn't think that the writers saw what we were seeing,
Right.
And so I know he was on the watch list and things like that, but it was surprising to me when I saw the video on Instagram that the Texas football put out with Michael Huff giving him the letter, and he
that was awesome.
That was a great video by them, man. It was really good by the video team over there and the marketing team over there. But it was really heartfelt. It was touching that one Thorpe Award winner gave him the letter that's on staff over there, Michael Huff.
Yeah.
And then they called FaceTime Aaron Ross. So we got 3 Thorpe winners at the University of Texas, and they were all in the room, basically all in the room together. Aaron Ross was on FaceTime. But that was a really cool video, a really cool moment for Barron, and there was a really cool moment for the University of Texas.
No, I thought it was. And that
Yeah.
Derek Ochoa, who we'll have on this podcast soon, he's the one that leads that digital team. And they do a badass 5-star All-American job. And I'm not just saying that because they work at UT. As long as I've known Derek, since he's been there since I was in the media.
Oh, yeah.
Back in my media days. And that guy, you talk about hustles. He's a good instructor. He sees the storytelling through the lens, if you will, and what they produce. And you know, a lot of people across the country are doing that. All right, Stevie, from the CFP and the Longhorns in Clemson, we've got to go. We've got to talk about this. Listen, I'm all for the portal. You're for the portal. Almost all coaches will admit they're for the portal. However, I don't know the answer. I would never give any kid any advice on what he or she should do. But in this case, for college football athletes or football players, currently, when I produce this podcast, FBS, Football Bowl Subdivision, that's Division I, and then FCS is lower Division I, like Stephen F. Austin. Over 3,712 entries in the portal combined. That's insanity.
Yeah. Yes, it is. But I do believe in kids needing to move on.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what we do about that. But, you know, and the kids need to understand what the magnitude is when they do enter the portal, because they can enter the portal and some of them not get picked up, you know? So but in the same breath, if it's not working out for a kid at one university, it might work out at a different university, you know? So
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But there's arguments for the front end, the middle, and the back end. So high school athletes, because of the portal, are at a disadvantage because you're taking up roster spots. Now we're going to expand the rosters to 105. But in theory, you think, okay, you're going to have more opportunities for these portal entries. But I don't know if every program in America, particularly lower FBS and FCS, all of them can afford or have the resources to fill, and the FBS only, for 105 scholarships. Then you got to look at, okay, some of these guys are going to have to go down to FCS to find new homes, or Division II, which is only 37 scholarships. Division III, it's grant and aid. FCS is 63, and not all those 63 are full. I just learned that, and I thought all these years, I thought FCS all had 63 full rides. There's only like 35 full rides. It's up to the coaches. You get a lot of 2-for-1 scholarship divided up. And then you've got guys who are going up from Division II, FCS. And then you got junior college kids.
NAIA
potentially, because you find those diamonds in the rough who, as you and I both know, kids mature at a different age.
Yeah.
And they reach their potential. Jeff Traylor, our buddy, he's a Stories Inside the Man Cave VIP alumni. I thought this summed it up from a coach's point of view. Someone was asked about that because the portal just opened this past Monday.
This is not the kid's fault. This is the adult's fault. We're the ones that have messed this up. We got a football calendar going for playoffs, for bowls, that doesn't match up with an academic calendar. The classes end in December. They start again in January. The kids are the ones being caught in the middle of all this stuff. So you have two things working against each other. You have an academic calendar, you got football says we all won't finish. And everybody gets mad at kids, and the kids are in a bad spot. And the problem is when a coach tries to explain it, it sounds like we're complaining, and we're just describing what's really going on right now. So
you see a lot of kids who are not playing in the bowl games because they they have to hit the portal in order to enroll in wherever they're going. But for like Texas, for the CFP, for example, Justice Finkley and two other guys on the defensive line, I believe, are going to stay with Texas throughout the CFP run. I don't know how they work that out logistically to wherever they land. However, how you play for one university into January, deep into January. There's kids who are having to leave, bounce. We've seen it. And they're put in a hard position because the dates. Because what Traylor mentioned, the academic calendar. I mean, I don't know how to resolve this. What would you do? I mean, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah, so I was talking to a staff member over there, and we talked about this a little bit at the University of Texas. There is a 5-day grace window after so if you make it all the way to the championship game, the spring semester has already started while you're playing the championship game. So the championship game is not until January 21st or something like that.
It's right on that third week.
Yeah. And so school has already started for the next semester. They have given the championship teams that are in the championship games grace, so the kids can stay there and play in the championship, and then they have 5 days after the championship game. I believe this is not verbatim or anything like that, so don't take my full word for it, but they'll have a chance to enter the portal after the championship game and be able to get onto another campus, catch up on their schoolwork,
right,
and get with another team. Then
it's hard to understand, and it's honestly, you can't blame the kids because, like you said, they're trying to find where they belong and opportunities. You mentioned the Independence Bowl games affected. We just mentioned that. Marshall, this involves your hometown, the Independence Bowl. Mm-hmm. Marshall, which had a really good season, they had to opt out of the bowl game because of their portal losses. So they needed a team to face Army in the Independence Bowl. And right down the road, I think it's I-20, right?
I-20.
I-20 from Ruston. They're 5-7.
So they weren't bowl eligible.
They accepted the vacancy to play Army, Louisiana Tech.
So wait, did I read correctly that Marshall, their head coach is leaving?
Yeah.
And so half the team or most of the team went into the portal?
That's right.
Wow. So the next coach coming into Marshall has to fill a whole team.
It's unreal. It's unreal. I'm trying to get the exact number of kids because it was a mass exodus, if you will. I'm trying to get the exact number. I read about it twice, and it's unreal. I've never seen it. The Thundering Herd, 29 scholarship players left the program since December 8th.
Oh my goodness! Sounds like they had a team meeting and said who's all going, and most of them raised their hand.
Raised their head, and Charles Huff is he's leaving Marshall to Southern Mississippi, who's a fellow conference member. Sun Belt.
Yeah, that's tough, man. But golly, it's the wild, wild west out there still, man, and we're still trying to rein this in and try to make it fair for everybody involved. I think one of the things that might need to happen is we have to drop down on as many. We can't play as many regular season games. We have to make the regular season a little bit shorter.
That or start a week earlier in August. And start the playoffs immediately after the conference championship.
Yeah, not this 1 week off, and or Well, can you do that though?
But then you have like Army Navy, who traditionally plays
Mm-hmm.
at weekend in December. It's hard, man. There's no solution. You can't have everything right. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, Sean, one of the things, and you and I can figure this out. We can do it and just submit our findings. But
right.
Pushing the season up 1 week, and we had 2 bye weeks this year, right?
Yep.
Actually 3, because after the SEC championship game, we had another bye week.
Right.
So get rid of so many bye weeks. So have 1 bye week. And you said go straight into the playoffs after the conference championship week. We can do that. And we are 11-2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then say we go all the way to the championship game. What's that? Is that 4 games?
Yeah.
So
17.
That's 17 games on college kids. That's a lot of games, man. That's too many games actually for a college kid.
Well, high school goes 16 if you win a state championship.
Okay. 16?
Yeah.
So when I was in high school, it was only 15 games.
See, but it's the same general area.
Yeah, but it's also high school. So
pros go, they play 17 regular season games.
Exactly. And they didn't want to, but the owners wanted to, just so we can go do the money thing.
Right.
We don't have that problem. And in fact, if you ask the players in the NFL, they don't want to play that many games. And they came to a compromise by dropping down the preseason games. So they don't play as many preseason games now, but they play another regular season game. So I think we do need to drop down some games, even though I love being a fan and I love watching college football, but putting 17 games on these college students, that's pretty tough. And they get more chances to be breaking records too, you know, and there's some records that's up to be broken.
They will.
In these playoffs games, you know.
They will, because you have more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, when Steve Sarkisian played at BYU, there was a season there where I think they were part. I want to say the WAC was massive. They just were taking in teams, and they were one of the first conferences, I think, which had a conference championship game. I think they played 14 games and won the Cotton Bowl, I think. With Sark at quarterback. All right, Steve, the Cowboys now 6-8. They had a nice win, but the game before it was awful to our guy DeMarvion Overshown. He literally just overcame an ACL, and then I believe on his left leg this time he shredded every ligament on his right knee. And he is from Arp, Texas, in East Texas. Good football program. And it's one of those salt of the earth communities where they love and take care of their own. They had a DeMarvion Overshown Appreciation Day by Zoom. And, boy, this is going to pull some trigger emotions right here. The little kids, they're just trying to lift up DeMarvion because this is an injury he may never overcome.
I seen the jersey and I knew you was my guy from already. Then you canceled your dentist appointment. We might as well be best friends now, man. I appreciate you picking me over the health of your team.
You're my favorite player.
Oh man, well I appreciate that. You know, I try my best when I go out there, and when I went down, I kind of knew that was probably my last time seeing the field. But I knew I left it all out there, and the next time I get back out there, you know, I'll be doing the same things that I was doing before I left the field. So hopefully I'm still your favorite player by then, but I'll be back.
You are absolutely immersed in prayers. You got this. You will be the best to ever walk the field for the Dallas Cowboys. You already are in our minds, and I can speak for everybody else. Go D-Mo. You got it, baby.
Man, that's East cool. Texas at its finest, man. I mean, remember Blaine Irby, who played tight end for Texas for Mac? Badass tight end. Against Rice, I think in I don't remember what year it was, 2010, same injury, tore every ligament, and he rehabbed his ass off. And that requires a lot up here. And you go through pain to overcome that and then go back out there and do it. I mean, have you heard anybody or play with anybody that experienced anything like that?
No, I didn't. The one that got me and he got back on the field was Fozzie Whitaker when he was playing.
That's right. Yeah,
playing with the Panthers, Carolina Panthers, and he had surgery on one of his knees. I can't remember, but he was down on both knees. And I said, what happened to the other knee? He was like, well, that was my donor knee. They harvest a ligament from his donor knee to put into his hurt knee. And I was like, I never heard that. So he had to rehab both knees, and he got back. So, man, prayers to Overshown, man. That's tough. It really is. But for the community to come out and all support him like that's really cool. That's neat.
No, it is. And ARP is one of those, whoo, man, I remember when my second of 4 stops in the media, I spent a lot of time in East Texas. It's one of those communities, man. They love their football, but they love their people even more.
That's really cool. It's like what they call it, life behind the pine curtain.
That's exactly what it is. Some of the best people I've ever met in my life are from behind the pine curtain. And they know how to play football over there. And you know what? State championship week in Arlington. And for the Austin, Texas area, only 3 remain out of 32 who started the big tournament. Only 3 are in Arlington.
System overload.
We'll play that again next week to honor the state champions if we have any. I'm pretty sure good chance Westlake will have. I think they all have a great chance. Shiner's not really technically in Austin, but it's from my days at KVU. We covered them. They're really far, an hour and a half away. But man, you talk about a state power. They're there every year. It seems like. Yeah,
that's good stuff. Good luck to everybody, man, in the Central Texas area. That's fun. That's a lot of fun.
It is. Austin's catching up, but there's potentially Dallas-Fort Worth area could have 9 state champions after the Saturday. 9 DFW programs are playing for state championships.
Wow.
God. Hey, a certain stiff arm by our guy T Sweat. We got to take a look at that. Plus TikTok in the man cave from everyone's favorite uncle. That's coming up on the other side of this break as we pay homage to our guys at Hargrove Roofing.
Here at Hargrove Roofing, we try to think outside the box to kind of get the creative juices flowing. So I brought in my friend Stevie Lee, former defensive tackle for the Texas Longhorns. He's going to help the team strategize, really motivate them, light a fire.
This guy's going to block down. This guy's going to block down. You put your butt into the guard, and that way my Mike linebacker gets free to do what?
Not only are they going to learn a thing or two, but they're going to also leave with a great attitude and a bunch of smiles on their faces.
I'm sorry, what does this have to do with roofing exactly?
Get out.
Right now.
I said get out.
For me, that's what it's all about. It's just having fun, making our employees have a great time. Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
Happy holidays to you from myself and everyone with ties to Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast. I am Sean Clinch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave. We love our community and giving, especially during Christmas and the holidays. But there is one organization I truly love year-round, in particular this time of year in the Austin area is Partnerships for Children. In particular, PFC's Holiday Wishes program. It's a program which benefits and serves kiddos in CPS care in Central Texas. Holiday Wishes affords up to 7,500 kids the magic and joy of opening gifts over the next couple of weeks. So, how can you get involved or help? 1,200 kids are in need of a sponsor. If you don't want to sponsor a kiddo, donations are welcome to fulfill the holiday wishes for the kids who are not sponsored. Here's where I challenge you. When you have a moment, visit this website below me, partnershipsforchildren.org, and click the links for holiday wishes once you arrive to their homepage. It's rewarding, and the best part, you'll make a kid smile on Christmas morning, and that's simply priceless. Partnerships for Children and Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast, an ideal partnership during this special month.
That was fun. You know what I noticed on that, man? You know, it's real easy to stiff arm little running backs. It's real easy to stiff arm the receivers. It's easy to stiff arm the quarterback. But if you stiff armed an offensive lineman like that, bro, you are powerful.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Stiff arm was textbook on a offensive lineman, and he went down hard too. So
he did.
That was fun.
He is absolutely taking over Nashville. Yeah, rookie season, Devondre Sweat's one of the good guys. Just a good human being. Absolutely hilarious. I mean, I think sometimes we forget some of the great people we've been able to cross paths with who came through that Texas football program. And I have a feeling he's going to have a long career, and everywhere he goes, people are going to love him.
Yep.
It's hey, TikTok in the man cave. First off, no hate on anyone who has bald domes. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But our guy, Unc, the big Unc, and his nephew, Unc has a this is hilarious. The theme of it was his nephew trying to tell him not all women love bald heads, but Unc seems to differ.
Every girl don't want a man with a bald head, huh? I'm telling you that now.
Some crazier than them motherfuckers.
No, they
you lost your motherfucking mind. Every girl wants something to look like a boner all day, 24 hours. Are you fucking kidding me? What? They look shit. My head look just like the tip of a boner, man. You fucking kidding? Why you think they call me dickhead sometimes? You know the bras be called, hey dickhead. They be going around, hey dickhead, and I be going, me. That's me. My boys in there be looking at me. I go, yeah, that's me. Fucking my shit look like a boner all the time. All I do is stand like this. Sometimes I just have my head down so they can get horny. I'm telling you.
There you go. There you go, Clinch.
Touch it.
Yeah.
But Unc does not like his head touched.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't at all.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
From good-looking bald domes to two beautiful people by the name of Stevie and Clinch. Tell me something good, my brother, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you, by the way.
Merry Christmas to you too, man. That was going to be my something good, man. We were out shopping today. I wish it was a little cooler outside, just
a little warm.
It's a little warm here in Austin, Texas. But we're out shopping, finishing up some Christmas shopping while the kids are in school. This is the last week they're in school. And then, but I also wanted to say, man, this is historic. We have a home playoff game in Austin, Texas, man. The first one ever. So that's something good too, man. It's going to be great weather on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it, to seeing it, man. It's just really good energy in Austin right now, man. And listen, everybody out there, man, let's just love on each other. It's going to be crowded out there. We're going to bump into each other. Simple, excuse me, I'm sorry. Excuse me, hold the door open for someone. And if there's someone who holds the door open for you, just say thank you. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Have a great one. You know what I mean? So let's just be happy and nice to each other, man. Something good is it's the holiday, and we get to be around family and things like that. So enjoy your life, enjoy your family, and enjoy yourself really too. So self-love is the best love. So enjoy yourself, and then you can pour out into other people. So, man, something good is just be good this holiday season.
And I love you for that, man. You always have a good word to pass along.
You're a positive guy.
Yeah, because you are a positive guy. And I think little Eric Moore has rubbed off on you a little bit. Your pastor at Summit Worship Center. We need to have him on again. He's a VIP alumni. That is one funny human being, by the way.
He is.
Two things, playing off Stevie. Listen, regardless of what faith you are or whatnot, this is a great time for everybody. But, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Be happy. That's why we say happy. But remember, there are people struggling right now.
Yeah.
And there's certain people, this time there's a lot of pressure on people this time of year. It's overwhelming for some. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because everybody handles it differently. People have asked me, just because it's been a little over a year from I lost my mother, and then of course our friend Jason and his wife, and two big chunks out of our foundation. You know what? Yeah, it hits me. Ask me if I'm all right. I'm good. I'm good because I lived through that faith. But remember those who are struggling, trying to put presents under the tree. Partnerships for Children's a great organization. RBI Austin is helping those types of families. We know people, and the people who are smiling or having the most fun usually are dealing with something heavy. Not always, but man, hug them, love on them, and validate their feelings, but be there for them. Always ask, man, and give them a gift of love and a hug, and be there, man. That's all I can say, because it's taken many years for me to realize just because someone looks happy, especially this time of year, means they bear a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Of darkness.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. It's like the tears of a clown. You make everybody else happy. You make everybody else happy, but you're the worst beat up inside. So, check on your happy friends for sure.
Yes, always. And and if you need to be uplifted, you can reach out to me, but definitely get some of that Stevie Lee and his family. They'll infuse some positivity in you. I promise you that, especially during the holidays. A lot of laughter right there. So for the great city of Shreveport, Louisiana, which is the birthplace of the Stevie Lee and the home of the Hargrove family of Hargrove Roofing, and to my hometown of, my college town in Nacogdoches, Texas, which isn't far from Shreveport, Louisiana, and which my college alma mater, Stephen F. Austin, and to my hometown, the beautiful Austin, Texas, which is God's country. Don't forget it. And to all my family and friends, to all of our viewers and listeners, thank you. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Just be happy and smile and share and follow all of our content. Tell your moms, tell your cousins about Stories Inside the Man Cave. And follow Stevie Lee. Follow me if you'd like. He's funnier. He's better. And for the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hard's Big Mike and the Coach Mo, what do we tell them, Stevie Lee?
We out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.
I said get out.